Well, I am a professor in the Department of Electronics at the Technical University in Tampere in Finland. And so my job is essentially research and teaching, and I'm responsible for electronic materials and manufacturing at that department. And and in particular, we're looking at both organic electronics, really making devices out of organic materials, and at printable electronics, at using printing as a way of doing even quite complex system integration. I think to be honest, I think the reason as an academic, the reason I'm most interested in it is because there are a lot of really fun physical questions to be answered in looking at it. Environmentally harmful, or at least as many environmentally harmful materials to make them as you do using classic electronics. So it just opens up a whole different venue for functional objects, for putting function in all sorts of new places where you didn't have it. Not the same function as you get from silicon, but different ones that you wouldn't think of doing with silicon. Anything that works and you can print is interesting, of course. Graphene is at the moment very high in the hype cycle, and we'll find out how far you can really go with it once you actually start printing it. But it's certainly a fascinating new material. There's still a lot that can be done with the organics as well. Certainly, if you start talking about talking about solar cells or OLEDs, there's still a lot to get out of organic materials, and even in devices, we're finding that you can maybe make new kinds of energy harvesting devices and rectification devices out of these as well. So wouldn't get rid of the organics yet, but anything that you can process out of solution and it stays flexible once you put it down, and you can process at low temperature is interesting. We don't really care if it's organic or inorganic. There's always challenges. If there are no challenges, it's not research. Yeah, so the challenges can be getting understanding, for example, what we've been doing a lot is trying to understand what happens, how things change when you start printing. Because a device that you make in a glove box can look very different than a device that you make on a printing press. And a lot of that is in the interfaces, the way one layer interacts with the next layer. And so that's kind of what we've been specializing in lately, is finding out how that changes and why that makes how that makes the device behave differently, and how you can actually use that to make new devices. The lighting sector, I mean, OLEDs are the only organic electronic product that is already commercial. You can buy telephones, TVs are coming out, and I think that will continue to grow. There's a good chance for the lighting, but I think another place is in multifunctional systems. So where you need different functions, and if you can put all of those functionalities down by printing, then even if you could do it with silicon and an LED and a few other things, if you can print it all using the same technology instead of having to actually put all that together by hand, then that can be an opportunity. So people shouldn't be too ambitious, and doesn't have to be too high tech. So simple things where silicon is maybe just overpowering.